guys, how's it going? So today we're going to do three things. First, we're going to talk through the pond, the string algae issue. Things are looking better, so I'm very encouraged. Then we're going to put some new iris in here. We just went to the garden center this morning and picked up several, and I'm so excited about it. So we're going to get those placed, and then we're going to go harvest strawberries. So that is the plan. First, an overview of the whole pond area. Things are looking pretty good. I mean, the plants are healthy and happy. The iris that we planted in here last year, blooming, looking so pretty. I can't wait to add more. Water is as clear as can be. You can see all the way to the bottom. And the string algae is so much better than it was. Before, you could just like reach in and grab clouds of that string algae and you couldn't see any of this middle section. Waterfall is clean. There isn't string algae like stuck really bad to the sides of rocks. Overall,
so much better.
Yeah.
So much better than what it was. We're heading, I mean, it's not like perfect, but it's just nice to see the trajectory in the correct direction.
Yeah.
They put in a second ion gen. We've been monitoring the copper levels and they're not too high. I'm actually thinking that maybe the first ion gen that they put in like isn't working.
It's a lemon, maybe.
Maybe it is, I don't know. So it's possible that we actually only have one working ion gen right now. And I'll turn that off as soon as like it clears up a little bit more. We've been using a couple products though. So first of all, this is Waterfall and Rock Cleaner, and this went on the waterfall and it killed the algae in like a day. It just turned like brown and just went away.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. When the waterfall's clean, it's amazing how much that does for the whole area. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it does, but it doesn't matter as much. There's still some string algae. When the waterfall looks clean, it all looks better.
This is that SAB, which I believe stands for String Algae Buster.
There we go.
And you mix it up in a warm bucket of like, 5-gallon bucket, and then you just pour it along the edges around the perimeter. And honestly, it was like right after we used this that it really started breaking up the algae. So I kind of almost credit this the most for clearing up the issue. And then the last thing
this is a no-go.
Yeah,
No fish food right now.
Yeah, because I guess the fish will eat the algae, and if they're getting fed, then they're less likely to eat algae. So like you want them to be eating as much algae as possible. And I guess you don't need to feed them anyway.
Well, not when we're providing such good nutrition for them in there.
It's basically that you can do it for entertainment, but it's not that they actually need it. And then the last thing that's been happening is this auto dosing machine has still been going. And this is Clear XT, and this just auto doses. I don't know, you just set it to how much you wanted to auto dose it for, and it
depends on the gallons, right? The gallons of water you
have.
have.
You just do the math based on the instructions and stick that in there, and so that's been auto dosing inside the pond as well.
And we've been manually, we come out here every day, multiple times a day, and we skim. So we've got the net sitting right over there. We skim off whatever chunks have kind of broken off, and then you can see.
Have you showed this before?
I don't know if I did or not.
So this is the.
Ooh, it needs to be.
Yeah.
Cleared out.
This is the skimmer box, and there's not a lot in here.
We're creating a nice pile behind it.
Yeah. So we just clean that out occasionally.
Usually it's a twice
done this
a day.
morning.
Oh, it was done this morning already, yeah. It's a twice a day at least job right now. So there's that little fake cover for it. We need to figure out a way to, I wonder, would it mess things up too much if I think I'm going to pop an iris right here in that little opening to kind of mask the view of this, because it's not the prettiest thing from the front. I don't know, we'll see what we can do. We might be able to pop one right in here too. Look at that though, you can see the fish in there. Overall, I'm much more encouraged.
Well, Greg also sent me, he was with like a customer or something, and she watches our channel, and she was saying in the video, like, give it like 2 years, because she said with her pond, she dealt with the exact same thing for 2 years in a row of kind of a bad algae issue. And then after that, everything equalized. She's like, if you could just get past the 2 years, at least in her experience, she was good after that.
Sure. And the other thing that we're going to do is add more pond plants. So today we're going to put the iris in, which doesn't do much for shade. But I think Greg, right, is going to be sending us out more lilies.
Yeah.
So we're going to put more lilies in. That'll create more shade for the water. We can't really control the growth rate of all the trees we put around. I mean, we put this pond in to a complete blank slate area, so we just have to wait until the trees grow and create shade, which will help tremendously too in the algae issue. If we had a shaded area to put a pond, that probably would have been more ideal, but I love this space. It is looking good. I'm gonna run up here. I love the view from the top of the waterfall. Look at this, the view from the side. It's so beautiful. Hardy geraniums and perennial grasses kind of hugging some rocks in here. Variegated red twig dogwood. Nice little walking path through here still. We've got low growth sumac here, more grasses, a creeping blue spruce. Our serviceberry has service berries. And if we stand right up here on top, I just love looking down on the whole thing. You can see the Hartley there in the background and all the different layers and textures we've got going on. Oh, so beautiful. We do have one lily in here. I can't remember the variety, but it's got pink variegation on the lily pads, and that one came back from last year. It was in the pond all winter long. So that's awesome. But now I want to run and grab those iris. They're sitting on the tailgate of the truck, so we got to take a gator over there and I'll run over the varieties. I think I got 4 or 5 different types. Look at all of these iris. They are so beautiful. Not all of them are in bloom yet. Some of them have buds. Look at this one right here. Oh, I also had to pick this up. I don't even have a place for this. But this is a Happy Jack purple clematis, and I don't think I've ever seen one so glorious in a nursery container. I mean, it's just so beautiful. Look at this. Quick stats on this one real quick before we get into our irises. Is the plural for irises, or is it just iris? I have 3 iris. I have 3 irises. I don't know. Okay, so this one is a zone 5 through 9, grows 6 to 8 feet tall, 4.5 feet wide, blooms summer through fall. Easy care. Oh, we're gonna find a spot for that beauty. Not today, but soon. Okay, so for our iris, I've got some repeat varieties, like these 2 are the same. This is called Butter and Sugar Siberian Iris. It says that they like damp soils or rain gardens, ponds. They can be submerged. These grow 2 to 3 feet tall and wide. I can't remember the zone. Zone 4 through 9, so that's perfect. The next one right here is really tall. Let's get it over into the gator. So you can see that there is a bud on it, and it's called the Lion King Japanese Iris. Attracts hummingbirds and bees and butterflies. 30 to 48 inches tall and about 2 feet wide, zone 4. Prefers moist soil, so much so that it may be submerged. Perfect. Next up is this one right here. Again, we have buds but no blooms yet. This one's called I don't know how to pronounce this, but Chidori no Mai Japanese Iris. 30 inches tall, 24 inches wide, zone 3 through 9. My goodness. And then they had 3 variegated iris. This is just a variegated Japanese water iris. They have purple blooms, which is the one that we just looked at right here. And I cannot pass up this beautiful sagey green foliage with the little white stripe on it. I just think they're so pretty. Zone 4 through 8, and these grow about 2 by 2. The last 2, we have one called Geisha Girl, which I think that these are already done with their blooms. There's no buds or anything, but I love the color here. And you can tell this is a taller one. Yeah, 30 to 48 inches tall, 2 feet wide, zone 4. Love the height of these leaves. And our very last one that is just absolutely loaded up with buds is a Ruby King Japanese Iris. Grows 3 feet tall, 1.5 feet wide, and it's a zone 3 through 9. So that's our collection. That is what we're going to be working with right now. Let's head to the pond. Okay, I pulled up into the shade over here near the pond because we need to prep these plants first. I don't want to just sink them down into the pond in their containers that have a bunch of print, and you'll be able to see those under the water. So I went to the barn and grabbed some just clean black plastic pots. I think they'll look better. So all we'll need to do is slide them out of their current pot, put them in here, and then I'm going to be top dressing with some larger stones and some smaller stones like this. In fact, I just rinsed all of these. We had a pile of them scraped up from the old chicken coop area, and these will work perfect just to help, one, keep all of the junk like the loose soil and stuff from floating out, but also a combination of these two sizes of rocks will help keep the plants in place, like kind of weight them down. And I probably need to brush up on proper pond planting techniques and all those things, you know, proper plant mediums and containers and stuff. But I'm just kind of going off of what we've currently got in the pond, and I know we do have some in plastic containers like this. I think this is the way to go, and it seems pretty easy. So let's get all of these prepped, and then I might not even need to get in. I did bring my coveralls right there in case I need to get in, but I think we're gonna be putting most of these fairly close to the edge, so we might be able just to kind of drop them down in. I'm hoping. Should be a pretty easy process. Maybe something like that. So I went in with the small stones first and then added my large ones. All placed. I think they look great, and we have plenty of space for more plants. Okay, let's start on this side right over here. There's a frog. Hold on, I'll probably freak it out. Yep. It just swam behind the iris. There's actually two frogs that live in here. So I put the variegated one here and then two right kind of tucked behind that rock. And then we've got one right here. The tallest one I tucked behind that rock there. I like that. And then this one worked out perfectly. So the can is sticking up out of the water just a little bit, but it's sort of masking. It's not blocking the flow whatsoever to the filter, but it's just like the canopy of the leaves up above is just kind of blocking where that's at. And then the other three I tucked right in here, the two short ones, and then the first one that we sunk in here. And nothing actually floated out of the containers. I was really happy about that. So now we'll hopefully get a lily to put in this area, hopefully another great big one for this section, and then we'll just hopefully, I don't know, maybe a couple more. I don't want to block too much of the water surface with lilies because I like having open water like it is now, but I know it's going to help with the string algae, so I think that's a good thing to do. So hopefully that will be something we add in the next little bit. Okay, we're done with pond stuff for now, so we're gonna head out to the strawberries. I'm not sure what we're gonna have for harvest. I was just driving by them the other night, like night before last, and I noticed that I could see some red in there. So that's kind of what I want to end on today, is just harvesting whatever we can from that row. Okay, we are about ready to pick some strawberries, aren't we? Yeah. So we've got our basket here. Here's the row of strawberries. And the other night when we were driving by, this is what I was looking at. I could see red peeking out. So anyway, I think there's quite a number of them in here. Oh my goodness. Okay, we got our kneeling pads. We're ready for some action, aren't we? Yeah. Yeah. So these are a mix of June-bearing and ever-bearing strawberries. We've got All-Star, Honey Eye, Schuchsen, Quinaults, and Seascapes, if I remember correctly. This side right here, we start in with the spring or June-bearing type. and then it gets ever bearing toward the other side. So anyway, we're just gonna haul into this and try to pick as many as we can, and then I'll show you our harvest for the day. Look at this haul. Aren't they gorgeous? And I'm fairly certain if we had kept going, we could have picked at least double this. I just kept going until my baskets were filled. So what I'll do is take these in, and we eat a lot of them fresh, but with the ones that we don't eat fresh, I either turn them into jam or strawberry syrup, which we really like on pancakes, but majority of them I freeze. So I just wash them, rinse them off, take the tops off, flash freeze them on a sheet pan, and then put them in a gallon Ziploc bag, and we store them like that in the freezer, and that's how I like to process most of them. I usually do 1 or 2 batches of strawberry jam a season, and that lasts us for quite a long time. But just real quick, I wanted to talk about how these strawberries look. We're in our 3rd year with these strawberries, which is pretty good. When you consider the lifespan of a strawberry plant. You usually get peak production like 2nd and 3rd year, and then they start dwindling at that point. So I'm not really expecting a ton out of this area, next year, which is kind of perfect because I do want to build a waist-high raised bed, probably the length of this quadrant, like a 60-foot raised bed, waist high, and plant my new crop of strawberries or my new fresh plants of strawberries in those so that I can tend to them and harvest all while standing up, which I think will be so nice. These are also very prone, or all strawberries are very prone in our area to showing chlorosis or a lack of iron because of our high pH. So when you see them looking like this, yellow with the green veining, that's a lack of iron. It's very easy to treat. We use EDDHA iron. It's like a little red powder that you mix in water, and you can do a drench on the plant and in the soil. And it's a type of iron that the plant can quickly take up and utilize. It's kind of a fast in and out though. You'd be best off working on the soil in the meantime, adding compost, organic matter, soil acidifier, that sort of thing. And over time kind of building up your soil so that it's maybe less high pH, a lower pH. But we do find EDDHA iron is kind of necessary for maples, strawberries, hydrangeas. What other things do we always have to treat? It's the only ones I can think of off the top of my head. So I was kind of waiting until I did my big harvest, especially off the June bearing strawberries, and they're still loaded. There's so many that still need time to ripen. I wanted to wait until all those were done until we treat these with iron. I don't think it'll hurt them to wait a couple of weeks for that. I just don't want that iron on the berries. Benjamin lasted about 1 basket worth. That's his basket. And then he went inside to play with Samantha. And you guys, that is going to be it for today's projects. What a fun day. Getting to work in the pond a little bit. Every time I actually get in it and kind of get my feet in and get my feet wet, it's just such a pleasant thing to do, especially when it's so hot. We're in the 90s today. It's kind of in and out because we're cloudy. Thankful for the clouds today, because when the sun does go behind the cloud, there is a little bit of a reprieve. but being in the pond on hot days is so much fun. And we've all been waiting for strawberry season. The kids talk about it all through the winter, about how they can't wait till they get to come out here and pick strawberries in particular. That's their favorite. So this is always a fun time of year. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.